inside our earth. We know that our earth is a dynamic. Dynamic means change inside and outside day to day within minutes and meters. That's why it is a dynamic. Before we know about the interior of the earth, let us discuss why it is a dynamic. Because many landforms created and many landforms destroyed on the earth surface. That's why earth surface is the dynamic. Then we know about the interior of the earth. We know that our earth is a layered structure. Layered structure, that means it is like an onion, which layered from the layered one layered empty, then again layer come. So our earth is also a layered structure from one layer to one layer within many layers. The first layer, this is too imaginary to understand and practical to understand, but earth is also a layered structure because it contains three parts with density, matters and the volume. First one is the crust. You know about the crust. This is the upper part of the earth, is known as the crust. You see in the figure with the crust, which is shown in the blue part and green part. So we can say that it may be continental and oceanic, but it is a part of the crust. And the crust length in continent about 35 km, and ocean there is a 5 km. This vary because of the ocean and the landforms. Because landforms on the continents, they are a big plain and the many. This is the first part of the earth structure, and the second is the earth, which is the crust, is made of copper, constitutes of a silica and the aluminium. That's why it is also known as a SiAl in short form abbreviation, that is a silica and the aluminium. Second part, which is a metal, which is a 29 km below the crust, is known as a sima because they contain silica and the magnesium. Do you know that the deepest mine in the world is in the South Africa, about 4 km? The interior of the earth is so mystery, so we try to get information about it. It is difficult because the radius of the earth is 6,371 km, but we possibly only dig to the 4 km. And third part is the core, which is consist of the nickel and the ferrous, and the important feature is the core has a very high temperature and the pressure. The crust, which is the consist 1% of the volume of earth, 84% mantle, and the rest 50% is the core. Why mantle consists 84%? Because they are in the liquid state. Then the second topic is the rocks and the minerals. You know why the rocks are the made of earth crust and found in the earth crust. These are the rocks and the minerals, which are the definite chemical composition. Rocks are three types: igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary. On the basis of their formation, igneous, which is derived from the Latin word means fire. Those rocks which comes from volcano eruptions and they cools down either in the magma or either in the surface, is known as the igneous rock. There is a two type of igneous rock: intrusive as well as extrusive igneous rock. Intrusive igneous rock include basalt, and exclusive igneous rock include granite. And the metamorphic rocks which we discuss later, but second one is sedimentary rocks. When we know that what is the sediment, rock rolls down, crack and hit each other, and at a broken down a small fragment. These are called sediment, and these sediment are when deposited is called sedimentary rock. And a word which is sedimentum derived from the Latin word means setting down. Example of the limestone. And the third one is the metamorphic rock, when igneous and the sedimentary rock can change into metamorphic rock under the great heat pressure. For example, clay change into slate, limestone in the marble. And the word metamorphic, which is a Greek word which also means metamorphize, which is change of the form. This is the types. And the why are rock used? Rock are used for making road, houses, building. Stone are many, for example, and these are used for the construction, building roads, example. And what is the rock cycle? The rock cycle is a change of the sedimentary rock into metamorphic, then igneous. How they change? First, they are the igneous rocks. When they evolve, the sedimentary rock forms because of the sediments gathered and collected, and then sedimentary rocks under the heat pressure they converted into metamorphic. Then they are also come in the contact of the heat, they change it to the igneous rock. Igneous rock then change to sedimentary rock. This cycle continues. This is known as a rock cycle. What is the minerals? Minerals is have a definite chemical composition. Rocks which are the made of the minerals. There are the many type of the minerals. Fuel is also type. For example, coal, natural gas, petroleum also are the minerals.